All right, someone just sent me this, Pastor Steve. How do Christians justify birth control, when the Bible talks about thy will be done? Does it not apply here to that passage, or be fruitful and multiply, which is another passage? What do you say?
Most people who are dealing with birth control are dealing with it. Most Christians that I know that are doing that are dealing it with it from the point of view of trying to be responsible and trying to be able to take care of their family. And so you see that in passages in the Old Testament, in the book of Proverbs specifically. It talks about the fact that you need to be gathering up food in the summer to take care of yourself in the winter. You need to make sure that you're working, and it's the whole idea of providing for your family and that kind of situation. We're in a situation where we can do these things and make sure that we're taking care of people. And I don't begrudge people that. I think that's a responsible thing. My wife wanted to use birth control. I'm going to tell on her right now. I haven't asked her, but I'm going to tell on her. So when we first got married, my wife didn't want to get pregnant right away, and so she was interested in using birth control. And I said, I looked up all the stuff on it, and there were side effects and that kind of thing. And I wanted kids anyway, and so I was like, what do we got to do this for? And but she wanted to do it, and so I said, okay, you can go and get it. And so she went and got the pill, and what ended up happening was she had a really bad reaction to the birth control. And she tried a couple of different times to get kind of they have different strengths with the pill and stuff. And so she tried a couple of different times to get that all straightened out. She had nothing but problems with it.
Yeah, Amber, the same thing.
Yeah. And so I just figured it was the judgment of God on her. But we didn't have kids for 13 years, and so it was never even an issue with us. And so I think that God was letting her know that that's not something that she needed to worry about. He had his hand on us. But it's like if somebody's in a situation where they don't have a job and that kind of thing, and they're trying to watch out for their family, I don't have a problem with that. I think that obviously there should be more prayer involved with families and decisions that go along with those things. That's one of the things that I was doing when I first got married. I prayed about it, and I felt like there was no reason for it. I didn't know why God was letting me know that. I didn't know that it was gonna be a long time before we had kids. But still, I prayed about it, and so I think Christians need to pray about it. And it's like I'm really not interested in being involved in all their lifestyle choices and that kind of stuff. If they're doing it to be a good steward of what God's given them, okay.
So, and there's other verses that I won't mention, but the verses that I've already mentioned, people that use those to say that birth control is sin, not so.
It doesn't say that.
Right.
If birth control was sin, it would say, thou shalt not do birth control.
Right.
I think that the whole thing with be fruitful and multiply, I think that that's something that can still apply to this day. When I was in high school and in college, they were talking about the population explosion and that people were going to be starving within the next 20 to 30 years. They always come up with this stuff. What was that movie with Charlton Heston? Oh, Soylent Green. Soylent Green was made in like 1971, something like that. And it was a movie that was supposed to be taking place in 2022. And the whole, it's a dystopian flick, and the whole world is falling apart, and there's food riots and stuff, and they're taking people out with forklifts and front end loaders and that kind of thing. And you find out that one of the basic staples for food in the United States was Soylent Green, and at the end of the movie, Charlton Heston says, "It's people!" And they were taking people and recycling them and feeding it to people. because, again, of the population explosion. And so that was at a point where we had about 3 billion people on the planet, and now we have close to 8 billion people on the planet, and we have the ability to produce food for all of them. And usually when somebody's starving, when there's a famine that's going on, it usually has to do with warfare and not with crop production. And so I think that we could be fruitful and multiply too. I don't have a problem with big families.
Yeah.
But
so liberty issue. I mean, I look at what you said about being fiscally and family responsible, whatever term you want to put in there. But I have 3 kids, so family of 5. Have you seen inflation lately? Do you know what I pay at the grocery store? So it's either some area of birth control or like we're going to be out on the street. So to me, it's just like a practical.
It's about to get worse.
Life choice. I know.
Yeah, your kids are going to be teenagers here.
Oh, my son put down 3 huge pork sandwiches. My wife just looks at me and she goes, "We're going to go broke."
I could eat 10 tacos when I was in 8th grade.
Really?
Yeah, homemade.
Yeah, so he's
10 tacos.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, he's going into 4th, so
yeah,
maybe. I hope not.
4 years, it's over, buddy.
We're going to be starting our own farm here in a year if that's the case.
You're not going to have to worry about being overweight anymore. You'll just starve.
Yeah.
feed it all to your kid.
Yeah, it's going to fix the obesity problem.
Yeah, exactly.
In America.